The causes of the Civil War match in Georgia 8th grade standard number 5. The Civil War, which lasted from 1861 to 1865, was one of the most significant events in American history. Several key issues and events led to this conflict, particularly surrounding the topics of slavery, states' rights, and the struggle between different regions of the country. This informational video will explore these important themes and events that contributed to the outbreak of the Civil War. Slavery. One of the main issues that led to the Civil War was slavery. In the southern states, the economy relied heavily on agriculture and the labor of enslaved people. These enslaved individuals worked on plantations, producing crops like cotton and tobacco. Many people in the South believed that slavery was essential for their economic success. However, in the northern states, there was a growing movement against slavery. Many Northerners viewed it as morally wrong and wanted to end the practice altogether. This disagreement about slavery created a deep divide between the North and the South. States' rights. Another important issue was the concept of states' rights. This idea suggests that states have the right to govern themselves and make their own laws without interference from the federal government. Many southern states argued that they should have the authority to decide whether to allow slavery. They believed that the federal government was overstepping its bounds by trying to regulate or abolish slavery. This conflict over states' rights fueled tensions between the North and the South, as each side had different views on how much power the federal government should have. Nullification. The principle of nullification also played a role in the lead-up to the Civil War. Nullification is the idea that a state can refuse to enforce a federal law it believes is unconstitutional. In the early 1830s, South Carolina attempted to nullify federal tariffs that they felt unfairly targeted their economy. This event highlighted the growing tensions over states' rights and the power of the federal government. The idea of nullification continued to be a point of contention as the nation moved closer to war. Compromise of 1850. In an effort to resolve the growing conflict over slavery, Congress passed the Compromise of 1850. This complex agreement aimed to balance the interests of both free and slave states. It allowed California to enter the Union as a free state while also strengthening the Fugitive Slave Act, which required that escaped slaves be returned to their owners. The Georgia Platform. The Georgia Platform was a response from Southern leaders supporting the Compromise of 1850 as a way to maintain peace. The Georgia Platform was a statement adopted by Georgia in 1850 that conditionally accepted the Compromise of 1850. Georgia agreed to abide by the compromise provisions, but only if the North 1. complied with the Fugitive Slave Act, and 2. ceased to attempt to ban the expansion of slavery into new territories and states. However, many Northerners and abolitionists opposed the Fugitive Slave Act, believing it forced them to be complicit in slavery. The Dred Scott case. The Dred Scott case in 1857 further intensified the conflict over slavery. Dred Scott was an enslaved man who sued for his freedom, arguing that he had lived in free territories. The Supreme Court ruled against Scott, stating that he was not a citizen and had no right to sue. This decision angered many in the North and was seen as a victory for the South. It reinforced the belief that slavery could spread into new territories, making it more challenging to find a compromise. Abraham Lincoln's election in 1860. The election of Abraham Lincoln in 1860 was a turning point in American history. Lincoln was a member of the Republican Party, which opposed the expansion of slavery into new territories. His election alarmed many southern states who feared that his presidency would lead to the end of slavery. In response, several southern states began to secede from the Union, believing that they had the right to do so to protect their way of life. The debate over secession in Georgia. In Georgia, the debate over secession was heated. Many Georgians were divided on the issue. Some believed that secession was necessary to protect their rights and way of life, while others felt that it would only lead to further conflict and suffering. Ultimately, Georgia did join other southern states in seceding, which led to the formation of the Confederate States of America. The Civil War was the result of many complex issues, including slavery, states' rights, and economic differences between the North and the South. Events like the Compromise of 1850, the Dred Scott decision, and the election of Abraham Lincoln contributed to the growing tensions that ultimately led to war. Understanding these key issues helps us comprehend the struggles faced by the nation during this pivotal time in history. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed learning about causes to the Civil War. Please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks again. We hope to see you soon as we go on another educational journey. Until next time.